I'm glad you're here today because it's very windy. And that's perfect for this particular day when we're talking about what it's like to be a design engineer. So I put together a little experiment that engineers have used, and I learned it from engineers many years ago. It's fun. You can do it many times with many different foods, but the 3 foods that I'm going to use, you don't have to use food either, but I like food. And so I'm using 3 shapes because the question that we're asking and the problem we want to solve today is, what do we need to do to build the safest structures? I'm going to try to build 3 structures and then test them. I'm going to use triangles, squares, and circles. And you can do that in many different ways, and I'm going to show you how I would do this. So here's a triangle out of cheese. Here's a circle out of cheese balls. Here's a square out of marshmallows. You can use a large or small. And you need toothpicks. And so what I'm going to try to do now is assemble 3 square structures out of 3 different types of shapes. Alrighty. I'm trying to assemble the first one. If I can get it together. And we'll just go on and do the other 2 and see what happens. It's not exactly a perfect square, is it? It's an experiment, so I feel okay about that. What do you think? All right, the second one is almost ready to go. So what's missing? Have I forgotten anything? Maybe I need to connect the bases. Let's see if I can do it. Ooh, wow, this will be tricky. And this is part of it. A design engineer would figure out the best plan for assembling them and then also for testing them. And that is why we have structures and buildings all around us that are so strong and protect us from wind like we're hearing out there today. So why would this be important? Why would a career like this be important? Well, depending on the buildings you're trying to create, we want people to be safe in them. And we want different buildings to perform different functions for us. So it would depend. If it was a hospital, it has to be very, very sturdy. If it's a giant skyscraper where people live, it certainly has to be okay, and this one's done. All right, now let's make some observations next. You can see, I might not make the best design engineer because mine are a little messy. If you can build them exactly the same size out of 3 different shapes, triangles, squares, and circles, and connect them together, then you'd have a structure that you could test. You could test it in many different ways. You could test it by just leaving it there and seeing if the wind blew it down, or you could see if you blew a hairdryer on it and would it knock them over. You could try jumping up and down and seeing if they fell down. But what we're going to do today, we pretend we have an earthquake. So now what I'm going to do is try to shake this table and see just how sturdy these 3 structures are and which one lasts the best. Ready? First I won't hold it and I'll just shake the table. Nothing happened. Now I'm going to hold it again and shake the table again. Ooh, a stronger earthquake has occurred. I'm testing in 3 ways, so I don't know what will happen. So far, it looks like circles are out, and it looks like the squares and the triangles are almost the same. Let's do a little bit more and see what happens. All right, get these out of the way. Ready? Whoa. Okay. The squares seem to have won the day. Give it a try. Give it your best try, and then draw a picture for me of what happens and start to be ready to submit your favorite picture in your checklist of your best career at the end of all this. I sure enjoy doing this with you. Have a good day and see you later.